Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsi's Guitar World. It's that time again, the video of my guitar collection. Now I haven't done this since April 2021. I mean, I make a lot of videos about receiving guitars, but I don't make a lot of videos about, selling guitars. In fact, I just sold a guitar 2 days ago. I just bought a guitar yesterday. So things come and go. You probably only see the things that come into this collection. You never see the things that go. So how many guitars do I own? Now, to be honest, I'll give you a quick look at the scale of the issue we're looking at. So these are the guitars that I have out. What I like to do is I like to keep a guitar out that I just use for jamming with. I'm trying to learn some Keel songs this week, so I'm using my blue one there. More details coming soon, and I have that one out as well, Telecaster. Anyway, so my point is, behind me, when I'm making videos, I have these guitars out in a rack. Not Iraq, the country, in a rack. So I have all these guitars in a rack. And I have this one here on a stand. On the top here I have a small one. And not just that, I also have these here Les Paul cases. Now there is a mirror there. I mean, it's not, these are not all Les Paul cases. It starts at this one here and goes there. So I have them, and I also have in this cupboard, I have guitars here. Oh, look there. I've got the box for my Kemper, so I've got these in here. I mean, to be fair, that's an empty case, there's nothing in that. So I have those guitars, and last but not least, I also have guitars away up there, on top of that, wardrobe. I've got loads of other rubbish up there as well. So yes, I have guitars up there. So suffice to say, I've got a lot of guitars, and sometimes I even forget what I've got. I had to look through those boxes about a month ago. And I was like, I don't know what's in this case. So about once a year, once every 18 months, I like to make a video just so I can see what I've got. And today is that very video. So we'll go through each guitar pretty quickly. I mean, there's probably, I would guess, between 25, 30 guitars in this room. And I've got some more coming as well. I've got some going, but I have some more coming. So I guess maybe a minute on each guitar, just have a quick look at it. I'm not going to play them. I mean, some of these guitars, the strings haven't been changed in the last 2 years or something. So anyway, here we go. Here's my guitar collection as of October 2022. So these are in no order other than the order that I just happened to pick them up in. Went for the closest one first. So this is a Gibson Les Paul Special Tribute Special or something like that, with P90s from 2019. I like this guitar. As you can see, I have added, it's from my mate Richie. He says you should also have a sticker on the guitar, so I've added that sticker. I got this really cheap, got it B stock, new. I don't buy a lot of new guitars. I mean, I think maybe in the last 2 years, apart from a couple of Harley Bentons, which weren't that expensive, I've only bought 2 new guitars, this one and the Richie Kotzen Telecaster. So that's guitar number 1, 2019 Gibson Les Paul's Tribute Special or Special Tribute or something like that, with the P90s in a rather fetching blue colour. I didn't plan this, but this is the other new guitar that I bought. I bought that on my birthday last year. Please do focus on the Fender logo. It's not going to focus. So this is, I think, how do you work out Fender serial numbers? No, sure, this is a Fender Japan Richie Kotzen Telecaster. A rather beautiful Telecaster with a massive neck on it. This has got a huge neck. This is almost as big as my 57 Junior neck. Nice flame top on that as well. A good looking guitar. Richie Kotzen Telecaster by Fender Japan. Another Telecaster. This one, rather understated pink paisley pattern, like James Burton's with Elvis. This is made by Tokai, Japan. I think there's no serial number on this anywhere. There's a number inside the neck, pocket turn on the neck, which could be 2011, but I don't know anything about this. I think this was like a limited run of Japanese Tokais. I mean, for a while they did not export guitars with the proper Fender headstock shape. So I don't know when this is from. I'm guessing 2011, but this is a great sound guitar. So that's this guitar. Tokai Paisley pattern Telecaster, based on a 69 Fender Tele, I think. A recent acquisition, a 1981 SE-450 with a customised pickguard. It's like 3D. It's great. As I've said in many videos, I'm not particularly a Strat guy, but I like this. I like big headstock 70s Strats. So that is a Japanese Fujigen made 1980, that's my cat crying, 1981 Greco SE-450. I'll let you see my cat just now. What do you say to everyone at home? It's my little cat Sugar. Word of advice, folks. When you get a kitten and it cries to get stuff, don't give everything, otherwise you end up with a little cat like this, who I love very much. But she is always going, well, she's always wanting something. Usually she wants out at 5:30 AM. That's in the morning. Next guitar is a 1983, I think this is. A Greco EG59-70, I think it is. This is the one that's had a tremolo system at some point. Some crazy person put a tremolo system in this. Now, by the name EG59, as you can guess, this is based on a guitar made in 1959 of a very similar shape, made by an American company. So this is Greco Fujigen made EG59-70, I think it is, with double trick pickups. Good playing, good sounding guitar. It's beat up. I use this one at pub gigs, so when somebody bangs into me and spills beer over it, it's like, I probably wouldn't even notice. Might even enhance my playing, you never know. Greco EG59-70. A 1980, another Greco EG500, I think it is, with the mini humbuckers. Look at that. How cool is that guitar? It's hard to find these Grecos with the mini humbuckers. They're normally very, very expensive. I actually bought this from somebody in Scotland, believe it or not. I didn't order this from Japan, I got it from somebody in Scotland. So I have replaced the bridge pickup. I had bare knuckles pickups, wire me a custom Holy Diver, I think this is, a mini humbucker, because when I got this, this had a 1976 Gibson mini humbucker in it, which I ended up putting in another guitar, but we'll get to that in a bit. So yes, this is a 1980 Greco EG500. Next up, we have a guitar from 1979. The top on that, I think it's a 3-piece top anyway. Fret end binding, so this is of course a Gibson Les Paul standard with the tulip tuners. Now I think this could be all original, perhaps. I can't remember, but it's got very flat frets on it, if you can see that. Hear my Scottish accent, very flat frets. I like this guitar. This is another one that's been, it looks very road worn as well. Seen a bit of life, this one. I love that top, beautiful colour. 1979 Gibson Les Paul standard. Another Gibson. As you can tell by the body shape, this is of course an SG with Gibson stamped humbuckers. Gibson embossed humbuckers. Get a big headstock in that. It's like a paddle. If you're up the creek without a paddle, you could use this. I think I said that the last time in the last collection video. So this is a 72 Gibson SG Deluxe with T-top pickups. That last 79 Les Paul has T-top pickups as well. I really like the sound of Gibson T-top pickups. It's a nice guitar, very, very slim neck at the top. I think the nut width is only 39mm, so it's quite tight when you're playing the chords up there, like D minor and stuff like that. 1972 Gibson SG Deluxe. Another Gibson, 1978. This time your Gibson The Paul, as it says, The Paul. All walnut construction. I think this is all original. It has T-tops, and again 2 T-tops. Bigger neck than 72 SG, very similar to the 79 standard. Has an ebony fingerboard, usually only seen on Gibson Les Paul Customs. A nice guitar, but this is another one which is most definitely, if you can focus on that, this has seen the road. I think I bought this from a guy in a punk band down in England. I got it a few years ago. Again, very flat Gibson frets. beat up. Your 1978 Gibson The Paul. The first of two Orville guitars. Now both my Orvilles were made by Fujigen. I think this, can't remember the exact dates. 90s, of course, 1990s Orvilles. And both are LPS 75s. Now this one was a tobacco sunburst, and I made a whole video on getting this restored by a guy in Edinburgh who's an incredible guitar maker and painter. So he finished this in cardinal red for me. Look at that, that is nice. You had to fill the top, they gouged somebody's name or initials into the top. There was super glue, there was holes drilled in the top. I mean, it was pretty trashed. Has the original Japanese PAF in the neck, and I put a tone rider, I think I put a tone rider generator in this one, or maybe it's a rock song and a generator in another one. But anyway, I've got tone rider pickups in both my Orvilles. So this is a 1990s Orville LPS-75. This is also a 1990s Orville LPS-75 in lemon drop. The flame on that, does it move? Does the flame move? So like the other one, I have a tone rider pickup in the bridge, and the stock Japanese PAF in the neck. I find the Japanese PAFs, they're not quite powerful enough for the sound that I want. I mean, they're fine if you want a PAF sound, they're very good. But in a bridge pickup, I desire something with more output to push the front of the amp a bit more. So these both have rosewood fingerboards, there's no fretting bindings. So that's the second of my 1990s Orville LPS-75s. Another recent acquisition, a Yamaha SG500 from 1979. The first Yamaha SG I've ever owned, crazily enough. My mate Mike has one of these, and he was saying, you get one, you'll love it. And he was right. Thanks, Mike. So yes, this came in recently. I had a bit of trouble with the bridge. Made the video and I had to change all the saddles. It was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest, but plays great now, sounds really good. Probably my next video, maybe in a couple of weeks time, I'm going to be doing a shootout. A shootout with this and the 79 Gibson Les Paul Standard. We'll see how it sounds. This is all original. The 79 Gibson Les Paul Standard, all original as well. We'll see who wins. Now you can see on this one the action's quite high. This is a 1940, believe it or not. This is even older than me. This is a 1940 Gibson EH-125 lap steel. I got this about 2 years ago with the intention of learning how to play it properly, and I've never managed to get past just playing in the key of G and playing G, C, D and open G tuning. So I mean, I really need to pull my finger out, as they say here in Scotland, and either learn how to play this or just sell it and give it to someone who is going to learn how to play it. So that's a 1940, I think it is, 40 or 41, made in Kalamazoo, Gibson EH-125 lap steel. This one is a 1981 Hamer Graphic Special. It's another one of these ones where the previous owner had put a Kaler in. My mate Mike gets a lot of name checks in this show. My mate Mike fixed this for me. Did a very good job as well. To buy a new bridge as well from the States. I mean, the bridge ended up costing more than some of the guitars I've got cost. It's like his manufacturer to be exactly the same as the Hamer Sustain bridge. It has original DiMarzio PAFs 1981 inked serial number, made in the United States of America with a Cheap Trick checkered flag. Quite a rare guitar to see in the UK. It's got a smaller neck than what I thought. I'd read reviews that says these have sort of 59X, but it's slightly smaller than that. More sort of Gibson 60s. A nice guitar, nice sounding guitar. Your 1981 Hamer Graphic Special. This one is very yellow. With P90s, I think that's the bare knuckle Warpig that's in there. Fairly hefty output. P90 in there, and it is, the guitar itself is a CoolZ or CoolZ 2014, I believe this is. Made in Japan, very nice guitar. Good beefy neck on this, I like the neck profile on this. Like I say, I must have been using this at a gig. I think I took it as a spare to a gig in Leeds a few months ago. That's your 2014 double P90 CoolZ. I can't remember the model number. Nice guitar though. It's rather beautiful looking guitar, cherry red. It's a 2019 Gibson Custom Shop 57 Junior VOS. Is that vintage original specifications? This has a beefy neck on it. This is the biggest neck of any guitar that I own. And it is a beautiful guitar. Sounds fantastic as well. I guess the problem is this guitar is so beautiful. There's not a mark on it. It's so beautiful. And these are expensive guitars. I mean, I got it second hand, so I got a good deal on it, but they're still expensive guitars. I wouldn't do one of my 70s covers gigs playing this guitar in case somebody did spill beer on it. I'd be most upset. It's beautiful though. It sounds fantastic. I need to do more videos with this because it's never had the attention that it deserves, I think. It's a nice guitar. 2019 57 Junior from Gibson Custom Shop. Next up, another Gibson Les Paul Deluxe from 2017, and it is the Pete Townshend Artist Special. Now my understanding is they only made 150 of these. I think they did custom shop versions with like Pete's guitar number on it, or number on the back, but they did a limited sort of production run of 115. I guess they just took some gold tops off the line and done them like this. You can see they're custom routed for all the extra controls and stuff. So it has two mini humbuckers now. This is the 76 Gibson mini humbucker, which I took out the Greco, so that's sort of back to the original spec of Pete's guitar. And in the middle is a DiMarzio Super Distortion, which is brought in by the use of this top tone control. And this is for phase switching, I think. So I mean, it has all the pickups. And I mean, it has to be said, Gibson do gold tops very well. So big strap buttons as well, look at that. There's big screws on the strap. So 2017 Gibson 76 Deluxe Pete Townshend Artist model, I think is how it's described. It's nice, beefy neck on this as well. Next up, a 1990s Bills Brothers. I think these are named an LPC-55B or something like that. Based on a Les Paul Custom, of course. Gold hardware, all black, double binding. I see people advertising these as made in Japan, but they're definitely not. They're made in Korea, but I think for the Japanese market, because it has a Gibson open book headstock shape. Goto tuners, I think it's all Japanese hardware. I changed the pickups because the pickups in this are rubbish. I've had a couple of these. The stock pickups are awful. Screaming feedback. So I have changed these for Seymour Duncan's. Quite a weighty Les Paul as well. 60s sort of slim profile neck as well. It's a custom, but it has rosewood fingerboard, not ebony fingerboard. It's nice. Slimmer neck than I normally play, but a nice guitar nonetheless. For my heavy metal moments, when I'm reliving my heavy metal youth, I have this 1980 Flying V from Aria Pro II, 1980 serial number. You can see that. The guitar was trashed when I got it out, so I had to replace everything on it apart from the wood and the pickguard scratch plate. I have a DiMarzio Super Distortion in the bridge and a Tone Rider AC2 in the neck. Classic Flying V for playing the old. For when I'm living after midnight. So that's your 1980 Aria Pro II FV-550, I believe is the name. Now I don't own Gibsons from the 50s, but I do have a couple from the 60s. It's a 1965 Melody Maker. This is probably my favourite guitar. It has Gibson T-tops in it. It's been completely customised, I think you'd refer to it as. Completely customised Gibson Melody Maker from 1965. I just love this guitar, it's so resonant. Perfect neck shape. Trogley's made a couple of videos about 65 Melody Makers and he says he just loves them as well. It genuinely is the best neck shape ever. If if I was getting a custom made guitar by a custom guitar maker, I would get this neck profile. It's perfect. So that's my favourite guitar, my 1965 Gibson Melody Maker. So I'm not a Strat guy, but this is another Strat. This one is from January 1979. Please do focus. Another Greco. Now I believe this to be an SE-800J, because when I got it, it had the black scratch plate, and it had the mini switches for controlling pickups. There was no 5-way blade. Mini switches for controlling the pickups. Phase, out of phase, on, off. It seems to be a one-piece body. The tremolo block has been replaced to a solid brass block, which I can find a blooming tremolo bar to fit in. I've had this refretted as well. This is a lovely guitar. Again, a brilliant neck shape, very similar neck shape to the 65 Melody Maker, actually, I have to say. Out of the Strats I have, this is probably the best playing one from the point of view of I really like the neck profile. So that's your 1979 Greco SE-800. I believe it to be an 800, it could be a 600, but it has brass plated shielding inside the control cavities, which I believe was only available in the SE-800 onwards. This is one of my 2 Avril Lavigne Telecasters made by the good folks at Squier. This is the second generation. Do you refer to the second generation from 2012? Single pickup Telecaster humbucker. It has a blade switch because you have 3 positions here. Here it is that coil, middle, both coils, front coil. A simple yet effective rocking machine, and I have to say these are Indonesian made. I'm super impressed by the quality of these Indonesian made Squiers. It's not in tune. So there you go, that's your 2012 Squier Orville Lavigne Telecaster. Nice. I'm a massive fan of Stevie Nicks. This is Stevie Nicks hologram. And this is also a Stevie Nicks hologram. It's my Stevie Caster. This is a 1986 Squier Japan Telecaster. I got this for free. My mate Craig gave me this years ago. He said, you can take my guitar for free, keep it forever, but don't sell it. So this is a free guitar that I can never sell, and I would never sell it. I love this. I think I've had this refretted twice. I've used it so much. Now it's a long story, which I'll make a video about in the near future, but in 1997 I'd had a few guitars before that, nice sort of vintage guitars, and I sold them and I ended up with 2 guitars I had. So my entire guitar collection in 1997 or thereabouts was worth £150, because I only had 2 guitars. This one I got for free, and the Fender Stratocaster Japan I got for 150 quid. So this is, yes, I love this guitar. Again, I've changed everything on it, apart from the body wood, the neck and the tuners. All the electrics are changed, everything. Even at one point I cut the bridge in half because it was feeding back, and I've got the pickup. This is a Seymour Duncan rails, can't remember which one it is. It's even I got a custom made. I just got a pick guard and cut the pick guard down, and just screwed that onto the top of the body. So it's customised, but it's a really nice guitar. I've used this a lot. Like I said, I probably had it refretted a couple of times due to a lot of use. Nice though. 1986 Squier Japan Telecaster. Another gold top, P90 gold top from the Fuji Gen factory, made by Greco from 1982. Now, much like the mini humbucker Grecos, the gold top P90 is quite hard to come by. This is an EG56-60 based on a 1956 Gibson Les Paul. Now these pickups sound fantastic, however they are very, very microphonic, and I even sent the bridge one away to Jamie at Creamery Pickups, and he's repotted and it's still really, really microphonic. So I never use this live simply because I don't want to deafen the audience with piercing microphonic feedback. But it's my cat again, she's back in. She's been outside, came back in. Like I said, never give in to your cat, or this is what happens. So an EG56-60, nice guitar. Here we have a very beautiful flame top Les Paul standard from Greco. It is in fact a 1981 EGF-850. Now, these, in my humble opinion, the EGF Grecos are the best guitars they made in the Super Real series. I mean, this is the lowest of the EGFs, just a lowly 850, 85,000 yen. And 1981 it goes right up to the 1800s and stuff, which are very, very expensive guitars these days, but they're beautiful guitars. It has PU2 pickups. It looks beautiful and it sounds absolutely fantastic. A beefy neck on this. This is up there with my 57 Junior. It's a beefy neck. They are probably the biggest necks of the Grecos. So if you're looking for a big neck Greco that looks like a custom shop Les Paul, then I would consider getting one of these. Not cheap these days though. 81 Greco EGF-850. And this is the second of my 1960s Gibson Melody Makers. Now this would have originally been Sunburst, but as you can see he's had all the paint stripped, which, you know, the wood on this is, a bit dusty because it's been in the case. The mahogany on this is such beautiful grain. It does seem a shame to cover up with a solid finish. Now I put some cherry stain on this, which looks great in the natural light, but it's not too convincing under stage lights. It has some kind of Japanese DiMarzio Super Distortion copy. This would have came originally with a single coil, so I've had this refretted as well. I think this will be a Brazilian rosewood fingerboard. I think my 65 is as well. Nice neck shape, not quite as big as my 65 Melody Maker, but comfortable. Lovely old guitar this. I mean, it's so resonant as well. Don't know if it's in tune. Almost in tune. So yeah, 63 I believe. It's always difficult to tell Gibson serial numbers, but I think that is a 63. Tuners have changed. I think the only thing original on it would be the pick guard and the bodywood. I think everything else has been replaced. Your 63 Gibson Melody Maker. Now I'll take a break here because I need to go and get a set of ladders and get up on top of that wardrobe to get the last. I think there's 3, maybe 4. There's 3 or 4 guitars up there. So back in a bit. I'm not a Strat guy, but part 3. This is the guitar I mentioned earlier. This is a Fender Contemporary Stratocaster from Japan, an E series, I think 86, 87 perhaps. 3 single coils and a System 1 locking trem, which has lost all the pieces, so it's blocked off. I think this is all original, apart from the bridge pickup, which I changed to a bare knuckle Irish Tour 74 based on Rory's Strat pickup, or the sound of the Irish Tour album. It's just a nice guitar, like I said earlier in the video. At one point in time, the only guitars I owned were this, which cost me £150, and the Squier Japan Telecaster, Stevie Caster, which I got for free. So sometimes you have 2 guitars, sometimes you have 30 guitars. It's just how things go, folks. There you go, that's the 86 or 87, definitely an E-Series Fender Japan Contemporary Stratocaster. And the last one I'm going to show you today, I'm not a super Strat kind of guy, but I own one of these. Now I made a video about this. This is an Azumi Victory Series made in Japan Super Strat. Can't remember who made these, made in Japan. This was, I mean not this one, but certainly one very similar. It might be this one, I don't know. I didn't keep a note of the serial number. But this was like the proper first guitar that I ever owned. I've got a trem bar somewhere, but there's no frets left on this. It's completely, it's like a fretless Wonder. It's like a Gibson fretless Wonder, but actually less frets than zero. I don't know what that was. Than 0 frets. So I mean, this is pretty much unplayable at the moment. I need to get this refretted. It's a job for another day. I mean, this it'll probably cost as much to refret this as what the guitar's actually worth. But I bought it for nostalgia reasons. I bought back my first proper guitar. So the Azumi Victory Series. This sounds great. It's got Goto sort of pretend DiMarzio Super Distortions. But it's a lovely guitar. It was funny playing this again for the first time since probably 1986 was the last time I played one of these. It just took me right back to playing those UFO riffs I used to learn when I first started playing. So there you go, that's my guitar collection, October 2022. Now there are two guitars which I didn't show. I have a 2007 Squier Avril Lavigne Telecaster, the first series, which is very similar to the one I just showed you, but it has the checkerboard scratch plate and it doesn't have the blacked out headstock. But that's in pieces. I must have taken that to bits for a gig. I never put it back together, so that's that one I own. And I also own another CoolZ, the Les Paul standard flame top, which is at my mate Richie's house. I left it there after a gig about 6 months ago. Completely forgot all about it. So he's dropping it around. So there it is. That's my guitar collection. I didn't count them all, but I'm guessing there's probably, I don't know, 30 or something like that. I will list them all underneath the video when I post it, and you can go to the timestamp. I've tried to keep it down to a minute per guitar. I don't want to make a 5-hour long video. It's really just letting you see what I've got at this point in time. Like I said earlier in the video, I get guitars in and I sell guitars all the time, you know. I only make videos of when I get guitars in. Doesn't seem much point. I know Tokai does. Tokai makes videos of when he's posting guitars, but I don't really do that. I guess people maybe think I've got about 4,000 guitars. You know, I only make videos when things arrive. But you know, believe me, my wife knows this. Guitars do leave this house very occasionally, but they do leave this house. As ever, folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on YouTube on Dunsi's Guitar World. Just for now.